Hey guys, today we are looking at the Anker SOLIX C2000 portable power bank. You may have seen we installed our battery bank underneath our van build about a month ago, but we're missing all the components on the inside. So how do we power our van build while the build out's happening, but before electrical is complete? The Anker SOLIX C2000. And this is the second generation new and improved version of this unit. It is a lithium iron phosphate portable power bank that you can use while you're building your van and then take it with you as a backup on the road. So for our van builds, we use this to power the lights and USB ports while we're building it out. This allows us to test the different ports and lights without having the full electrical system connected. Basically, we just run that wire to a fuse block or a Wago splitter and then distribute to whatever outlets and wires we want to test. One thing to keep in mind is that this is a 10 amp outlet, so it wouldn't be able to power all of the DC loads in the van, but it would be able to power all of the AC loads with that maximum 4,000 watt output. Aside from the lights, I've also been using it for the heat gun. When I'm doing electrical, I plug the heat gun in. This saves me from having to use the much slower cordless heat gun, and thankfully the portable power station handles the 1500 watt power draw without any issue. I've also used it to run the DeWalt air compressor in the van. The air saw is one of my favorite tools for cutting into the van, and being able to move the compressor around easily just means I end up using it that much more. All these power banks consume power just being on. This one is advertised as having one of the lowest idle power draws in the industry at just 9 watts, which basically means it can be on standby or on with a low load for a really long time. Keep in mind this is a lithium iron phosphate battery, not lithium ion polymer, which would be much more dangerous. Lithium iron phosphate is much safer and has a longer lifespan than other battery chemistries. It's also probably part of the reason it comes with a 5-year warranty. To turn it on, we simply push and hold the power button for 3 seconds. It powers right up. This gauge here tells us how much power is remaining. There's a percentage as well as a gauge. So it has these nice grab handles on the side here, and it weighs 42 pounds. 41.7 to be precise. So given how capable it is and how much capacity it has, it really is pretty light and portable, which is great for me because I can maneuver it around the van build easily. In terms of how it works, it's really quite simple. On the left-hand side, we have the inputs, so our AC or 110 volt plug, and our XT60 for up to 800 watts of solar or 800 watts via their alternator charger. In the center here, we have a toggle reset switch just in case you overload it. This is going to be the fastest way to charge the unit via a 110 volt plug. If you go on a 20 amp circuit, it can charge at up to 1800 watts. The absolute fastest way to charge it is to combine AC outlet with solar charging or alternator charging. Either solar or alternator charging can add an additional 800 watts via that XT60 connector on the left-hand side. This gives you a maximum charge rate of up to 2600 watts and allows you to charge it from completely dead in well under an hour. Now let's talk about the AC distribution down here. So we have 5 20 amp plugs and then also this 30 amp, which is called the TT plug, a travel trailer plug. So you can plug your travel trailer directly into this port and run it directly from this unit. Now the slow but convenient way of charging it is via the cigarette lighter plug on your car, and it does come with it. So we have a cigarette lighter on one end and an XT60 on the other side. So the XT60 can simply be plugged into the back of the unit here. And then the other end, you can plug it in directly to your vehicle's cigarette lighter. Using this method, it'll charge at around 120 watts. Now on the right-hand side of the unit, we have the expansion port. So here, you can plug in a second battery to increase your capacity. So we could go from 2000 watt hours up to 4000 watt hours. Basically like having a larger fuel tank, it will let you draw more power to more devices before it runs out of juice. With the USB ports here, we essentially have 2 140 watt USB-C and then a lower power 15 watt USB-C and 12 watt USB-A. So these 2 lower power ones will be great for charging your phone. These 2 could be used for charging your laptop directly or something like a Starlink Mini or a projector. For 12 volt DC loads, we also have a 10 amp car socket outlet right here. There's a button just below it to turn it on. This is what we use to power all the lights and USB ports in our van when we're building it out. My other use for the Anker SOLIX is to use it as an uninterruptible power supply for my 3D printers. As you can imagine, it's a serious problem if the power goes out in the middle of a print. The other issue is that these printers draw a ton of power. The H2D can draw up to 1600 watts and the H2S can draw around 1100 watts. Unfortunately, my shop only has 15 amp circuits, so I'm limited to running one printer per circuit, which is also crazy inefficient because I can't run anything else on those circuits or it'll trip the breaker and I lose my print. This has a maximum continuous output of 2400 watts and a maximum surge of 4000 watts, so it should handle both of these at max draw with no problem. I'm going to keep this in front here so it's easy to see, but my long-term plan is to mount this back on the shelf here and have both printers plugged into it so I can finally get rid of this extension cord. To turn on the AC outlets, you just tap right here. Now I'm going to start prints on both machines simultaneously and watch how much power it draws and if this handles it. We are at almost 3000 watts, 2985. So it is having no problem drawing 2900 watts. This is well over the rated output and I am very impressed. I'm actually excited because it's going to have no problem running both these printers. The nominal draw is really much lower, but it's just this initial heating stage where it goes quite high. And I can just barely feel the fan starting to run. The unit itself stays really cool and super, super quiet. I can't believe how quiet this unit is, even when it's putting out so much power. And I can just barely hear it buzzing. So yeah, this is gonna work great for running my printers off of. Anker did supply us with this unit to feature in this video, but how I use it and test it is entirely up to me. I didn't think it was gonna handle the power draw of both 3D printers at the same time. Drawing over 3000 watts for a sustained period in such a small unit is impressive. If you spent time traveling on the road, you know you can't have too many energy sources. This is a great way to have a backup that's compact and portable, but still can provide the power that you need. Ultimately, this unit is incredibly useful for us around the shop, in the van build, and on the road. There are 6 different ways you can charge it. It has a 2000 watt hour capacity and a maximum surge output of 4000 watts. That's pretty much anything that I would ever need a portable power bank for. If you're considering buying this unit, we'd really appreciate it if you use our affiliate link in the description. It really helps support our channel and allows us to continue making more van build content. As always, I hope you found this video helpful. Feel free to leave any questions or feedback in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.